I've had a handful of buyers as a real estate agent that I've been working with lately who have dropped off and decided not to buy because they're thinking if we wait until tomorrow's market, if we wait until 2024, if you will, it might be a more favorable market to buy a house in. And that's what we're going to discuss today, what that might look like. Of course, nobody knows for sure. We've been hearing so many different real estate housing market predictions and over the last few years, and a lot of them have definitely not happened. In many cases, the opposite has happened. So anytime you hear housing market predictions, I always think you should take it with a grain of salt. But I came across a really interesting article this week on CNBC.com that's sharing all about this topic. Should you buy now or wait for a more affordable housing market? How could that look? And so we're going to just go through kind of some of the main points, the things that really stuck out to me from the article, and then chat about it.
Yeah, and this holds value because, I mean, you're a veteran real estate agent. And one of the cool things when you're really into real estate, meaning you're a realtor, this is their full-time job, this isn't a part-time gig, this is how they make a living, how they pay their finances. They are really in this market like us, and we are aware of what's happening in the experience side to transactions, and that ultimately should always be related to a client. You guys are considered clients in my eyes, because if you have an opinion on, hey Spencer, where is 2024 heading for the real estate game, all we can go off of is our shared experiences, and we just hope you guys can hear this and take this and apply it to your lives. And because our goal is to share stories. I mean, that's the end result right here, is we're going to share testimony, share a story with how maybe a certain situation with our clients are looking when it comes to submitting an offer or even the selling side, because that is that's what's holding value, I would say, is the real life experience side. And simply, if your realtor hasn't been experiencing that means maybe business is slow for them. There's nothing wrong with that, but ultimately, we want to be working with a real estate qualified professional that's aware of your market that you're wanting to purchase or sell within. So, Mariah, you're no veteran. Take the reins. I would love to hear what CNBC had to say in this article. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. And also, whether you are a home buyer, a home seller, future, want to be a home buyer, you want to have your foot in real estate in some way, you want to start purchasing real estate, whether it's for your own primary residence or as an investment, or if you are a real estate agent or other type of real estate professional, our hope is that you can grab value from today's video. We're kind of on this channel all over the place as far as real estate goes. We chat every week about real estate, but we do cover a pretty wide variety of real estate topics. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. Okay, so mortgage rates are predicted to dip sometime in 2024, and many home buyers are wondering if they should wait until next year to buy to get a more affordable deal. But with the economic outlook super murky right now, which it absolutely is, buyers should not be overly concerned with their timing, with timing their purchase, and we're going to talk about why. And I definitely agree with that. What is, so the average national interest rate right now, we're in the sevens right now.
Yeah.
Low sevens. However, with the economy expected to cool a bit, many people predict that interest rates will drop to a 6% in 2024. So let's just say there's a drop of 1% in rates. That works out to about $200 a month in mortgage costs for a 30-year fix on a $300,000 home. So the question, should you buy a home in 2023, which is slowly approaching and coming to an end, which is crazy, about to be in Q4 here, of the business year, or wait until 2024. It might be tempting to hold off, but we need to remember that there is no guarantee that mortgage rates will drop or that home prices will be more affordable in 2024. What I'm hearing is all of the predictions is that home prices will either continue to go up, but much, much slower, or they will just go sideways, but not really a lot of talk about them dipping. Despite forecasts of lower rates in 2024, don't expect them to be record low or anything like we saw this past decade. Rates returning to 3 or 4% is way more than likely just not gonna happen. If they do go down, then obviously there you go ahead and refinance. But if they also do go down, keep in mind, this is going to strike a demand again, and that's going to drive home prices up. We got to keep in mind the way that things work here, guys.
That'll be the Wild West again.
Yes. This is why like I always say, this article says, and I agree with them, you can't time the market. There are pros and cons to buying in any market. If you buy right now or a year from now, it doesn't matter when you need to buy is when you can afford it, when you can afford to buy, when you can afford your monthly payment. You can afford your down payment. If you're going to have a down payment, there's lots of options here, people, but when it makes sense for you, that's when you should buy. And maybe if you're going to be purchasing a home, and if you're so scared of something bad happening, I don't know if making the payment's going to be cutting it close for you, and you are in a situation where in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you might be forced to sell, then maybe don't buy. But otherwise, even then, I mean, if it were me, I would buy because I see the benefits of homeownership. But
you got to look at your average rental rates and see, what are you going to be looking at when it comes to rental? Do you need a house to rent out? What's the average rate on that versus a mortgage? So those types of scenarios, if the numbers make sense, go out and buy. And that's what's important. Look at your monthly figures. Can you afford it? Can you not? If you can't afford it, okay, let's go a different route. We have to sacrifice something, rent for now. It is what it is. We can't change that because you got to be pre-approved to buy anything. But this is a really, really good response, but also question to what today's topic is on. Should you buy in 2023 or heading into 2024?
Yeah.
And I was listening to a gentleman probably 2.5 weeks ago. The Feds just raised interest rates. The end of July, the last week of July, the Feds, they had another meeting. Raised rates, I think, 1/4 point. And now we're, 7.25. That's pretty normal right now for a 30-year fixed mortgage.
Yeah.
And how that's affected the market, uncertain at this point because we need to see August figures, the amounts listed, the number of homes sold, the average days on market, see how much those numbers rise or go down. But what I can tell you after reading July's report, July of 2023, this was interesting, and this was Oregon specifically. Your market might be a little bit different, but what I can tell you is following national realtors throughout our whole country is we have been pretty aligned and in sync from city to city. The bigger cities are seeing more of a dip right now. Less sales.
Yeah.
More price decreases. Average days on market's going up. Yeah. In July, in Oregon, Salem specifically, Portland specifically, Eugene specifically, we had a decrease in over 20% of the amount of homes listed, but also the amount of homes sold. So there's less on market right now. This is July. Everybody looks at the summer months to be this peak selling market. Man, I'm waiting for summer to put my home on market. I hear that all year long. I start calling you in October. Nope, wait until spring. Start calling you in spring. Nope, wait until summer. Summer is that prime time to get your home listed for the majority of people. It's easier if you're a school, if you work for the state, usually you get more time off, use vacation time. It makes sense. But right now, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing the home sales, but also the amount of listed homes go up.
Yes. Now, there's just less transactions in general in the housing market, less buyers and sellers exchanging keys.
So how's that affecting the market? Well, here's the deal. There's less to choose from if you're a buyer. You don't have much homes to choose from. You don't have much homes in a respectable sales point that you're looking to purchase in. Mm-hmm. So say you're only pre-approved for $350,000 to $450,000. Well, you have a very limited selected option to choose from because of the amount of homes available. And when we talk about higher than normal sales prices, I would say 750 plus category. So that tax bracket, that qualified buyer, that group of people, it's limited right now. It's gone down because yes, there might be more of those homes available, but they're sitting. And they're sitting because sellers, they have these unrealistic expectations that are stuck 2 years ago. And they have this figure in mind. And ultimately, some of them had even put themselves in a pickle. They've moved out of their home. They've had this home professionally staged for a month, 2 months. Man, it's not selling at the sales price we thought. You're already invested. You've spent $10,000 plus on this staging company. Now what do? We are seeing dramatic price reductions at these higher sales price markets.
Yes.
So say your home's listed at 1.2. I see homes going down 150 grand in a price reduction.
Yeah.
That tells me, not the best strategy. Not the best strategy if you're the representing real estate agent. You're costing your client money, giving them false expectations. And now the relationship, there's a distrust. Is this actually going to happen? The fate is uncertain. But ultimately, buyers see this. Buyers are smart. They recognize days on market. And so if I'm out there and I'm searching on Zillow right now, or heck, even go to our website, vettruscrawfordrealty.com. That's vettruscrawfordrealty.com. Go to our website, register yourself as a new buyer client. If you're specifically wanting to buy anywhere in Oregon, we are connected to every MLS system, and it's absolutely free. Use our website. Go see the average days on market. You can click, you put your criteria in, and view the homes that have over 45, 50 days on market. Those sellers, I really feel like are vulnerable right now. And some of them have this contingency offer that they're needing an offer in on their current home in order to buy their next property.
Yeah.
So they're very, very vulnerable. And ultimately, that's where your buy down rate's happening. That's where your closing costs are going to get paid for. That's where we don't have to ask for full ask price. And I'm expecting to negotiate a heck of a lot more for my clients. So if you're a buyer, that's the strategy I would be using. But sellers, we need to strategize our price points correctly the first time. Because if we get looked by, our average days on market go up, we have sales price reductions, it doesn't look good on paper. No. Everybody's coming from online.
It doesn't look good.
And so if I can wrap this up, though, to revert to what you should do in 2024, firstly, it always comes down to you. Does it work best for you in your lifestyle, your job opportunities, your potential? Are you growing a family? Can you afford your monthly payment? Who knows? Check the boxes. Okay, most of them are checked. Let's go get pre-approved with the lender. This is your interest rate. Don't look at that interest rate as, I have to, it's 7, it's a 7. No, we can negotiate that down. We can negotiate that to be a 6, to be a 5.5. And ultimately, that's what we're doing for the majority of our clients. And that's why it could be a great time for you to buy as a purchaser here in 2023 as we head into 2024.
Yeah, there are options. That was really well said. There are options though. So whether you are looking into, let's just say even a new construction community, for example, using their lender, there's a lot of instances when I would say that's maybe not the best idea, but there are a lot of instances we're seeing right now where they're offering really low interest rates. So there are options. Definitely don't discount yourself, I guess, from being a home buyer right now until you explore all those options. I do feel like just a couple things to add, kind of piggyback on what you're saying.
Do it.
One thing I really do want to clarify, because I've had comments on videos chatting about this type of thing where people are confused, or they're saying like, okay, you just said that home prices are still going up, or they're not or necessarily aren't dropping. Maybe they're staying sideways, but they're not dropping. But then you said there's price reductions. Isn't that the same thing? So also just to clarify, based off of what we're seeing in the housing market. So we aren't seeing this huge drop in home prices as far as equity goes. Like homeowners right now are not losing a ton of equity. Home values are still going up in most areas, or at least they're staying the same, stagnant. We're not seeing this like massive drop. However, there's a difference between home appreciation and price reductions. That's what we're talking about. There's a lot of homes, because like Spencer said, a lot of people I feel like a lot of sellers are kind of maybe at the point where they feel like they're missing out, or they don't want to miss out, because I'm seeing so many homes in the, just like $800,000-ish price range right now popping up on the market. And these sellers, I don't know if a lot of them are like, I don't know what's going to happen in the market, but right now we got to sell while home prices are still high. But I'm seeing a lot of homes like that popping up, and a lot of them are not worth what, that price point is. And I don't really know how to say that, because you could say that a home isn't worth what it is. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's worth what a willing, ready, and able buyer is going to pay for it, is what it's worth, whether we kind of like that or not. But just based off of what I do believe as a real estate agent, it will sell for realistically, I guess is a better way to put it. And that's like Spencer said, it's really important to be pricing your home right now, or you will be getting price reductions, because a lot of price ranges days on market are up, and it's just taking longer to sell because there's less home buyers and there's less home sellers in general. There's just less people buying and selling happening at this time. And probably because of uncertainty going on in the market, a mixture of interest rates, low inventory, homeowners having.
And one point though, there is a difference between a sales price and a closed sales price.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a sales price is saying, I hope I get this. A closed sales price meaning I did get this. The home was funded, purchased by another buyer. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Make believe, factual.
Yeah.
So price reductions are part of the make believe category. The factual evidence of a sales closed price is filed with county, state, registered, and that is the average numbers that we're able to read. Just like I mentioned earlier in July, that numbers were down between listings and sold units and average days on markets. Those figures are the important figures, I would say. And so we will definitely be seeing more in August as the end of August hits. And then early September, I mean, I've been following a lot of guys, a lot of gurus, real estate gurus, and they're saying it's going to be a tough 3 months at least. July, August, September. Those are going to be some tough months. So if you're a broker, you're viewing this, hold on and save your money. But ultimately, things are selling. That's what's encouraging me. I mean, I'm putting homes on market right now. I'm listing homes. I'm going and listing homes. But guess what? I'm also working with buyers. That tells me there are people out there. Yeah. There's people out there that are willing to find the lowest priced home on the market that's suitable for them, that they don't need to be putting a lot of work in and be the first one to show. And that's just called being on top of things.
Yeah.
And I encourage you strongly, if you're looking to buy here in Oregon, sign up on our website. If you're looking to sell here in Oregon, sign up on our website, vettruscrawfordrealty.com. Absolutely free. And I have an AI assistant. She'll be reaching out to you if needed. But we are here to provide you guys with a service and be alerted. I call this like real estate news. We want to inform you guys all things real estate. Yeah. And if you are specifically wanting to be in our area, why not be the first to be on top of it using our beautiful resources that are free for you to use? Go to our website and use them, whether you're a buyer or seller.
Yes. And one more thing before we end, if you are thinking about buying or selling real estate anywhere outside of the state of Oregon, contact us. We have connections with top real estate agents who will do a fantastic job for you wherever you are at, whether you are looking for an agent to come out and do a CMA for you, let you know what your home's worth, interview for the job of listing your home, or to help you find a home. Contact us. We can definitely
simply put, Mariah, before we end the show, though, yes. I think the audience deserves your honest opinion, my honest opinion, the future, if you will. What do you think as we approach 2024? Because, I mean, honestly, real estate deals, they take sometimes 90 days to close. Yeah. That's hit November, December area. So
right now, we're
transaction right now is Q4, quarter four, and, it's kind of a wash at this point. We're looking into 2024 already because that's just how this real estate market is and how it works.
Yeah.
What is your prediction 2024?
My prediction is, like I said, I think that home prices are going to continue to be a little bit stagnant. I mean, like I said, we've seen so many predictions saying like 1 to 5% appreciation, 3% appreciation, which, guys, we've been seeing, we saw 20% appreciation in 1 year. That's not normal. That's one of the big reasons why we're having such an affordability problem is not the interest rates. 7% interest rates isn't anything crazy. It's the fact that home prices went up so rapidly in a year. And I just don't see where home prices are going to just drop rapidly. Now, with the interest rates, I feel like I'm assuming that's probably why the feds are trying to raise the interest rates to make home prices come down. The big problem, though, is I just don't see home prices going down until we get a bunch of homes on the market. We are at record low inventory. It's about supply and demand. How can home prices just drop when there's literally no homes on the market? That's a big problem. And I don't see a ton of homes coming onto the market because we're not going to see all these foreclosures like we saw in 2008 because everyone has so much equity. Home sellers are so equity rich, and they also have these low interest rates, which is keeping them from selling. So honestly, because of all these factors, I don't know what's going to happen, but all I have to say is I do think that home prices are going to remain pretty like sideways, stagnant, if you will. I don't see a huge drop or a huge rise. And I also think that there's just going to be less deals going on in general, less buyers and sellers exchanging keys, less deals going on. And that's my really only predictions.
Yeah. No, I love it because that's a realistic answer.
Yeah.
If there's one word I can give you guys, look at me right now if you're watching this video, boring.
Yes, boring. It's going to be a boring market.
Okay? That is a really good word to use. But boring doesn't mean good, doesn't mean negative. We can all sit at home and be content and bored, right?
It's still a good time to be a homeowner. I'm really thankful to own a home in the boring market.
Exactly.
Yes.
So remind yourself, I was just on the phone with an investor this morning. He's in the Hillsborough area, and he's wanting to know really what that market, particularly a certain neighborhood, would be like with an investment and blah, blah, blah. But what I just encourage him to say is this is going to be a boring time. Don't think you're going to make 200, 300 grand on this quick flip. It might take you longer than expected, but ultimately make you less of a return than you're used to over the last 5 years. But it's okay. You can still flip. You can still buy these investment properties. You can still fill it with a tenant because everybody needs a home over their head. Yeah. And if you can do it at a boring price, you're still going to make away pretty good. The difference really is when that fear sets in and you're like, man, am I overpaying for this home because of these inflated prices? Well, I said this 3 years ago. This is the new normal, baby. This is
you did say that.
This is going to be one of those things where we will never see a $200,000, $150,000 home on market again, which sounds unheard of, unprecedented, to be honest. But the reason I keep encouraging the word boring, that doesn't mean good, doesn't mean negative, but we are in an election year. So I believe the feds, the government, and then also the employment rates are going to remain in good standing numbers and figure. And unless the employment rate drops statewide, nationwide, look over your area and see your employment rate. Because once you start seeing increases in the unemployed, now we're talking more financial crisis. Okay.
Something that I think of, though, a lot is, okay, so say interest rates go down, because a lot of people are saying they're waiting to buy until interest rates go down again, which, by the way, when interest rates were low, a lot of people were saying they're going to wait to buy until the housing market was less crazy. Well, if you want less crazy, then that's right now when the interest rates are a little higher.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm always thinking, like, what would happen if interest rates did raise again? Or did lower again? The average home price, the home prices, it's just going to drive home prices up. And the average home price in our area will be literally $1 million. Like, it's just not sustainable. I hope that I hope that interest rates don't lower anytime soon. There's just so much. There's so much. There's just a lot. Anyway, I would love to hear this video. We're kind of all over the place, go a little rambly, but it's good.
This is a 2024 prediction market video. I love it.
Yes, and we'll come on before and do like a real predictions, right before the new year, and do a real like good predictions video, just giving out more predictions for the new year. But if you're a real estate agent and you're listening to this, first off, let us know what's happening in your market. What are your predictions? Do you agree with what we're saying? Do you disagree? Are you seeing these things or not? And if you're not a real estate agent, you're just a home buyer or home seller, wannabe homeowner, whatever that is, like let's talk in the comments below. We love answering your questions and just having a discussion with you guys. So, okay, I think it's time to end.
Yeah,
we could go on and keep talking, but I think we're gonna end here. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll see you next week.